tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to another edition of Spotlight On. I'm your host, Sam Davidson. If you guys haven't done so already, please rate, review, subscribe on all of our channels. We love hearing from you. I have a very special guest with us in the studio today, Miss Jenna Willis, who will be on the amazing upcoming miniseries on FX, American Crime Story, and you have a very, very important role. Thank you so much for coming in.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. I'm glad that I could be here.
Me too. I'm super excited, and congratulations, first of all,
Thank you.
on the role. I think you're going to be a household name soon enough. Would you like to tell the viewers where they can find you online?
Absolutely. So you can find me online on Twitter and Instagram as Ms. Jenna Willis. So that's MS. Jenna Willis, just my lovely, awesome name.
Please follow her, because I just started following her today, and she is a lot of fun. And of course, you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at SamD43, and tweet at us after the show with questions for Jenna, questions about the show and her career. We're going to be talking a lot about it. Like I said, I have a lot of questions about American Crime Story, but first, let's talk about you. Let's talk about your journey and your life. You're a Jersey girl.
I am a Jersey girl.
So when did you move out to LA? How did it happen that you decided, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life?
Yeah, so growing up, I always loved performing. It was something that was just kind of in my blood. And I started taking classes at a pretty well-known theater company in New Jersey called the Paper Mill Playhouse. And I took classes there. However, I also have 3 older brothers who very much so were into sports and all that athletic stuff. And I basically jumped on that bandwagon, so I stopped taking theater classes to basically please my brothers.
What about your parents?
Right? My parents were like, okay, cool, whatever, you know. They were super supportive of whatever I wanted to do, and they knew that I loved acting, but I also, you know, had interest in sports, and I just kind of fed that for a while. And then when I got into high school, I was actually playing volleyball in high school, and along with like basketball and a few other sports. And on the side, on the weekends, I would still sneak away and take theater courses through high school. And then I was on a traveling volleyball team my senior year in high school, and I was practicing one day, and a coach came up and pulled me aside and said, "Hi, I'm the recruit for a Division I college called Wagner College in New York, and I basically love to offer you a scholarship to go to Wagner College."
Wow.
You know, per se that your grades are okay, and, you know, I had great grades. But you know, he basically offered me that. And I spoke about it with my parents, and we thought it was a good decision, so I applied, and of course, you know, I got in and I got the scholarship. So what's funny is Wagner College, the first college that I went to was like speaking like it doesn't exist anymore. Wagner College has an amazing theater program, but you actually have to audition to get into it. So while I was playing Division I volleyball, which I was the tiniest Division I volleyball player in the nation, like the year that I played. Yeah, I'm super vertically challenged. I'm a whopping 5'3". So
I was gonna say, I mean, this girl's teeny tiny. She got a volleyball scholarship. You must have been pretty good.
Yeah, I was a gymnast growing up, so I guess, you know, had the
just hopped over.
Yeah, I don't know. I got mad ups apparently. So yeah, I was playing volleyball for school, and then again on the weekends I would take the ferry into New York City and take acting classes on the weekends, and then one night a week as well. And I just loved it. It was always in me. So I came home from a school break one day, and I sat down with my parents, and I said, "I'm moving to LA." And my dad's a criminal offense attorney, and he was like, "Hell no." He was like, "No, you are not." And I said, "Yeah, I need to do what I love. And, I enjoy playing volleyball, but I am vertically challenged. I said, it's not what I'm going to do with my life. And I really want to focus on what I love and what I'm passionate about, which was, theater and acting. And my parents, and I had a long talk about it, and they said, what you're going to do is you're going to apply to some schools in Los Angeles, and you study theater at those schools, and then when you graduate, then you can pursue, what you want to do in the real world. And that's basically what I did. I transferred out to Loyola Marymount University, and I studied here in LA, and I studied part PR, part communications, and part theater.
Oh, wow.
Got to do some amazing plays, Tennessee Williams plays, on camera classes. I actually had a radio show in college.
Cool.
And then, and then I graduated and went into the real world and just started tugging.
You have some really awesome parents. I mean, because they did you right. Like, they didn't even just let you move out here and try, you need to finish school and do all of this. And so then after you graduated, I'm assuming you got an agent, just started auditioning. You've done shorts, TV, films. You had a really great role on Grey's Anatomy a couple years ago, which was super intense, as they always are.
Yeah, they are.
What was your first role out of college that you were like, okay, actually, I think this is going to work?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you always think whatever like job you book, you're like, it's going to work. Like, I'm going to make this happen. You know what I mean? And it's not like that. I mean, it's a battle. Everyone thinks they're going to come out to LA and live the Hollywood dream, and, they're going to immediately end up on TV or film, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, and I'm a firm believer in classes and studying, and if you're an artist, you're an artist. You know what I mean? You can't let it go. And even if you're not on a TV show, or if you're not currently working on a film, the beauty is that you can go to a class and you're still performing. You do a play. You know what I mean? Like I said, you go into a good class and you continue to grow. But the first job that I did book out of college was an independent feature, and it was called Not Quite College, which it's out there. It can be seen. And it was a great little part. I played the love interest of, one of the other leads in it. And Not Quite College is about a guy who decides to go to like junior college, and he's trying to figure out his life and what he wants to do. It takes place in Northern California. So it was really cool. We got to go up to Northern California and kind of do like a cabin lifestyle for about a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I think it's always important to hear stories like these of people that work really hard and don't just come out, and, it just happened. You know, they go to classes, they stay in school, and they sometimes take roles that you may never see.
Absolutely. I definitely have done those too. I did a film right after I finished Not Quite College that was great too, and it got a limited theatrical release. It's called Exit Strategy. It's out there too if you ever want to check it out. I booked both of those, and I was like, yes. I was like, it's happening. I'm doing it. And then and then the following year was very quiet. And it's just a lot of it's luck it's perseverance and hard work. So when people say I got lucky, most of the time, you have to realize what's behind that luck.
Exactly. 1 in a million people do have that weird thing, but you should never, put that as an example to how you're going to follow your career.
Yes.
So, you've done so many cool different TV shows, things. You have an upcoming arc on Criminal Minds.
Yes.
That is January 20th.
Yeah.
And anything you want to tell me about like that experience? I mean, it's such a huge show. It's been around for such a long time.
Absolutely. Going onto that set was a really cool experience because at this point it's literally like a machine. They're on their 11th season, and the show, people absolutely love the show because it's so easy. I was gonna say it's easy to watch, and I mean that, and like you're gonna be like clawing your fist and like freaked out while you're watching it, but easy to watch as in each episode's its own entity. So it's really cool that you can turn on the TV and watch Criminal Minds, and you don't have to know what happened last week necessarily. And I think that's why it has such a cool fan base and following, and people really love it. And it was just really cool to go into that show and kind of meet all these people who've been doing it, most of the cast since the first season, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And then kind of getting to work with some super talented actors. And, my later scene is very heart-wrenching. I mean, it really is. And it was also an experience that you could go in and they made me feel very comfortable, which is really amazing. All I can say is that everyone was really kind, very giving. Our director, Tanya McKiernan, is an amazing woman who's insanely talented, and I feel so blessed and fortunate to have worked with her and get to meet her. She directs a ton of TV stuff. She's really just like this powerhouse woman that you're like, you're so cool.
That's amazing. I mean, when I was doing research on you and about your career and everything you have coming up, it's like, I kind of get the vibe that she's a really cool, strong female kind of, person that is gonna be someone because, like I said, you have worked so hard and you're so kind and gracious. And you have something huge coming up, which could be a life changer, which I'm sure already has been. American Crime Story on FX, created by none other than the amazing Ryan Murphy.
Yes.
How did you get the role? How did it all happen?
I kind of like this story because I had a very difficult start to my year last year. Obviously, it's 2000. So last year
sucked. 2015 was a bummer.
It was just a roller coaster year. I mean, it really was. And you gotta have the downs to appreciate the ups and all that good stuff. But I had auditioned for American Crime Story, literally for like a 1-episode deal, which would have been great as well. Any work is great work. Let's just be honest here, okay? And I didn't hear anything. I was like, okay, cool. Happens all the time.
Weren't expecting, whatever.
And I auditioned for the part, and it was probably about like a month later. I was sitting on my couch, literally eating like cheese puffs.
Good. I'm glad to know that you eat.
It was
cheese
like
puffs.
Tuesday at like 3 p.m. I don't know. I just made that time up, but it was like some random time, and I got a call from my manager, and my manager called me. He's like, "Hey, Jenna, what's going on?" I was like, "Nothing, Matt. What are you doing?" Like waiting for I don't know, some sort of weird news.
You're like, I'm at the gym.
Yeah. I'm being totally motivated right now. I'm really doing stuff. Crunch, crunch. And I was like, I'm eating Cheetos, hanging out. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, would you want to do like a sketch thing this weekend for one of my clients? Because I do sketch comedy as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it. And I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to. And he's like, oh, by the way, he's like, you're on a veil for American Crime Story.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how I felt. Like just that moment, I was just like, wait, what do you mean?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's for the part of Tanya Brown. And he's like, I'll call you back and soon, because it starts working in the next few days if you officially booked it or not. And sure enough, I got a call about literally an hour later that said congratulations.
So you didn't go back and meet with Ryan Murphy or
no,
they just booked you.
Yeah. That's happening more and more, with TV and stuff. A lot of just on camera, when you go into auditions, they put it on tape.
Right.
And they watch the footage and they see, what they like, what they don't like. And I mean, if you're watching on through the camera on film, you're kind of seeing what you get.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
after you got cast and everything, did you get to directly work with Ryan or meet him?
Yeah. Ryan also directed some of the episodes.
Oh, great.
Yeah, the first and the last. And so I was on the first day of filming. And Ryan, of course, is there. He's so incredible. He's just like, this guy just walks in and you just feel this amazing energy. You know what I mean? And he just is so passionate about what he does. It's really beautiful. And the first day was pretty emotional, when your sister is brutally murdered and you don't want to believe who you think it is. And it's tough, it was a very emotional 6 months, you know.
Because these are real people, you know.
Yeah.
And for those of you that don't know, that I'm sure you all do, you know, the O.J. Simpson trial, which took place in the late 90s, Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered, and Tanya Brown was her younger sister.
Yeah.
And were you, when you were younger, I think we're close to the same age, did you keep up with this trial? I mean, it was the trial of the century is what they say.
It was 134 days.
Yeah.
Literally aired 134 days, which is insane.
Yeah, I mean,
Every day on TV.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's...
If you watch TV, it was hard not to
and
know
that's
what
the
was
thing,
going
you know,
on.
I was young, that I didn't really understand what was going on, but I was aware that it was on the TV every single day, that my parents were in front of the TV every single day, that my friends, you know, parents were on, you know, in front of the TV every day watching this. And, you know, of course, everyone remembers, you know, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. I mean, that's like the most famous, you know, trial line of all time, I think.
Yeah.
I would assume, you know. And then, you know, you go to school the next day and all the kids are, you know, saying that line and no one really knows what they're saying.
Yeah.
But they just heard it on the TV and, you know, so they're throwing out. So, yeah, I apologize. I'm going to use my little tissue here.
Oh. No problemo. I mean,
We're only human, right?
Only human. It's funny because I was so young too, and it was such a pop culture phenomenon, oddly.
Yes.
Like, do you remember Pogs?
Yes, I love Pogs. And Slammers.
I
Remember
had
the
a
Slammers?
slammer that had OJ on the front with bars in front of it that said OJ's in the slammer.
I had a buddy while we were filming who sent me a picture of it.
No way!
And was like, check this out, you'll appreciate it. So I started showing everyone on set. I'm like, look at this thing. This is crazy.
I wish I would have kept it because it would be worth a lot of money right now.
Mad money, you know.
I mean, and I think it's just fascinating because people are always talking about this trial and everything that happened, but it's been quiet for the past few years, especially since OJ went back to prison, you know, for good. So bringing it back up, is it, you know, like you said, it is very emotional. It's very raw.
Yeah.
What have, you know, the little that we've been able to see, we haven't, you know, that's how Ryan Murphy is.
There's a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's fantastic. Like, have you heard responses from people? Like, are they excited? Are they angry? Are they scared?
You know, what's really beautiful about the show is that it's not trying to persuade anyone in any direction. That's not what it's about. You know what I mean? It's really sharing the story from all these people's perspectives. And that's what's so cool about it. And I think I haven't heard anyone being upset about it. I think everyone's more anticipating what it is going to be and
like,
what
it's
it's all
damn
about.
time.
Yeah, right. We've been waiting.
Someone make a movie or TV show about this.
I mean, there's definitely been like documentaries and whatnot since, but this is definitely the first.
Was there a Lifetime movie?
I think there was.
Probably.
Actually. Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, that probably. Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure there was.
And then it's once they touch it, it's like, damn it, now no one can touch that
no one
for a
wants
while.
to.
Like,
Yeah.
you just can't.
Yeah.
So you said it's kind of in every different person's perspective. You see, it's not like, oh, this is OJ's mind and
yeah, it's
his story.
actually based on a book. So if anyone is really curious about it, you can read the book by Jeffrey Toobin called The Run of His Life. That's what the whole series is based on. So if you want to have an idea of what it's going to be about, read that book. It really is fantastic, and it's a tough read, of course, you know, but if you want to get a head start on what the series will be about, you can check it out.
Who were the actors the cast is amazing, you guys. I'm sure everyone knows, but it's like literally an Oscar award-winning cast. Who did you get to work with?
Well, you know, we obviously, you know, the show takes place through the process of a trial. So I've been fortunate enough to basically be with everyone. You know, you walk into a room and you see John Travolta and you see Cuba Gooding Jr., and then, you know, on the other side of the table, you see Sarah Paulson and Sterling Brown and Courtney Vance, who literally gives me goosebumps when he speaks. I mean, this man, they're all just so incredible, and there's just so much energy that fills the room. And it's just, you know, you sit there and you're like, I'm a part of this too. This is badass.
Yeah.
You know, you're like, this is big and I'm here. Like, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So in a way, all of them, you know, just to be able to be there.
Right. You and Jordana Brewster, I'm sure, were together all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's such a sweet girl. Very giving, very kind. You know, she's a busy woman.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that soon you will be extremely busy, knock on wood. Not that you aren't already.
Definitely.
Mean, it's a really big deal to be in something like this because Ryan Murphy, in my eyes, he does no wrong. Everything he makes is just history.
Yeah.
It makes history. And especially this piece, which literally is a piece of history, and Ryan Murphy's doing it, it's just like, so many people are going to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. And then you also take Brad and, you know, Nina Jacobson, who is just this awesome woman as well, who literally did the Hunger Games, you know, and you have all these amazing minds that are put together, and the writers are just so good that, you know, it's just exciting. Everyone should be super excited.
So I know that it's based on a book, so, you know, things are taken from that, but did anyone have any contact with the actual people?
That I'm not 100% about. That's my honest answer. I personally did not have the opportunity to meet Tanya. I would have loved to, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, because, I mean, she kind of could have her own, she has her own story after everything happened, and she came out very triumphantly after she, you know, had a lot of, you know, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, depression after all this happened. Yeah. And she got in an extremely dark place. Yes. And so, you know, now she's, I think, like a mental health counselor.
She is.
Yeah,
it's
and
really
she's a writer.
Yeah, she came out with a book, you know, and I think it's understandable, you know, what she kind of would go through and how to feel all of those emotions and, you know, and work through all of it, which is really great.
Did you watch a lot of interviews?
I did watch. I watched a ton of interviews, which mostly included Tanya and Denise, who's played by Jordana.
Because, you know, Tanya was younger.
Yeah, the youngest out of all the sisters. There were 4 sisters, obviously now 3. So yeah. Yeah,
and from what I recall, Tanya really liked OJ and believed in him for a little while, and then there was a certain moment that I think he called her from prison. I was reading something about it recently, you know, that she changed her mind that he did kill her sister.
I mean, the whole family, I think, you know, or I know, was in shock, you know, and the Brown family wasn't quite as emotional overall. I mean, really, it was a little more stoic, and I don't know if that's even the right word to use, but it was, in the way that, like, is this even happening? I mean, it's so surreal.
Yeah. In the series, do they do flashbacks at all? Or nope, okay.
You saw my face, I was like, ah!
Okay, well, I'm going to take that as a hopefully.
There's a reason, like, the teasers and the trailers are, you know, the way that they are, and, you know, I think it just makes it that much more exciting for when it is all out and people can really start diving in and watching.
It's extremely exciting, and I mean, all of the characters. So I guess, I don't know if you can answer this either, but
you're like, she doesn't answer anything. What is happening?
I know. When you work for Ryan Murphy, man, it's like you're working for the president. Like, you can't tell anyone anything. So my biggest question when I saw that this was coming out was like, are they going to take a stance? Like, I mean, obviously everyone has taken a stance that he got wrongly let go.
Yeah, I think everyone has an opinion, and I'm gonna leave it at that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's also so cool about the series is, you know, you will see.
Well, it is fascinating because someone must have thought he didn't do it.
Yeah, the jury made the decision.
Yeah. And
you know, and you know, it's already out there. I mean, there were so many things that did happen through that case that, you know, people don't remember or per se really. A lot of people didn't I think people watched it, but they didn't necessarily follow the entire case to really know that it wasn't just, if the glove don't fit, he must have quit. There were so many other more events that occurred through the 134 days that led to the ultimate decision, and the jury. I mean, we're talking about a very famous person, who got put on trial.
Yeah. And today I was just looking at some photos of OJ, and you want to literally slap him because he has a smug, he's smiling in a lot of them.
I mean, it's in the trailer right now when he says, this isn't about race. I'm OJ, I'm OJ Simpson. Like, that's what it's about. And
I mean, I know that Nicole will have a role in it, obviously. So I have always been very fascinated with her.
Yeah.
Just in general, because it's all about OJ. But, we didn't get to know, I guess, as much about her and her life and, her family, which was very fascinating, which I'm glad that they're bringing to the screen.
Yep.
Did you?
Well, me too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. And I'm sure you would watch it, too, even if you weren't in it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Did you learn anything from playing this character that is because the character at the time, the real person, Tanya, she was confused.
Yeah.
She was young.
I think, I learned a lot, but on a basic level, I think you learn a lot of respect for people. And, I've personally always loved acting scenes that put me literally in the shoes of someone that I really wouldn't want to be in real life. I really do love the dramatic, darker parts, but playing someone who has literally lived through it and knowing that they're still alive and that this is real, that you learn a lot more respect and when you don't have a lot of energy because you're so drained from being so emotional and living these experiences that, I can only imagine what she must have felt like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure as an actor too, it's a big responsibility to play a real life person.
Yeah.
Especially one that's still living.
Yep.
And that's probably going to watch this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you do her justice, and it's an amazing cast, and I just can't wait because there's so much to talk about, and he's giving us Ryan Murphy little.
I know. That's what that's what it's all about.
That's what he does.
Patience is a virtue.
It is. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I've been really excited.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you can talk about that was your favorite experience on set?
That's kind of a tough one to answer. Honestly, just, and I kind of touched on this before, the energy in the room, while it is such a heavy subject, that we're able to have these moments in between that we can laugh and enjoy each other's company and really appreciate, someone like David Schwimmer sitting right there next to Courtney B. Vance, and then, Sarah Paulson, right next to them, and just know that there's so many talented artists in one area, and that everyone got to share that together to bring all of those people into one room.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I read something...
And just the in-between stuff, we would play games at lunch sometimes and, do things like that you really create a family. You leave and you're like, wow, it's over. It's sad.
So how long were you shooting for? It was 10 episodes.
Yep.
You were in 8 of the 10.
Yep. So from March through November.
Wow.
April through November. Yeah.
That's still a pretty hefty amount of time.
Yes.
And it's a lot. I'm sure that your brain is just like O.J. Simpson trialed out.
Yeah, it was so funny because I had a meeting right before the holidays, and I was talking to all of them about, I'm just so tired lately. Like, I just feel so run down. And they were like, well, yeah, no shit, Jenna. They're like, you literally just poured your heart out, through the whole show of American Crime Story. And then I was fortunate enough right after to book Criminal Minds, where I, again, having to pour my heart out, in that episode. And they're like, of course you're tired. Like, what are you thinking?
You've been crying all the time.
You need to stop crying. Stop being so emotional.
It's amazing and hilarious that you do
I
sketch
start crying.
comedy because, like, you just drama.
Yeah, I love doing sketch. It's just really fun. I mean, complete opposite spectrum. But comedy comes from pain.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It really does. I mean, even if you just think about life and like your own situations, and a lot of times you're like, how am I laughing about this because it sucked or it hurt or whatever, and then you start laughing about it, and it's because, unfortunately, comedy is pain.
Yeah, absolutely. I do comedy as well. And
oh, cool.
It's
so right?
But everyone
it's
says, maybe we'll laugh about this in a few years,
right? But
I don't think anyone will ever be laughing about the O.J. Simpson trial.
You're gonna say probably not.
Yeah, I mean, the Pog thing is pretty good, but the slammer.
Yeah, right.
I read something really interesting today that I didn't know. So, I mean, right, like American Horror Story is, I think, 13 episodes-ish this season. And, he did Scream Queens, which was around the same. But this is considered a mini-series.
Yes.
Which I guess American Horror Story now is considered a miniseries during the awards season, but people don't really say like, oh, the miniseries American Horror Story. And so with this, I thought American Crime Story was just a passion thing that Ryan Murphy always wanted to do. He always wanted to tell this story, but this is going to be a new franchise.
Yeah.
And next season is Katrina.
Yes.
Which I read, and I read that on the internet, so it's okay.
I was like, I didn't
know.
say anything. I don't even know if that's true. Thank you for affirming it. No, I'm just kidding.
But I mean, that is so every year it's going to be another big American tragedy.
and that's why if you look at the American Horror Story and then American Crime Story kind of logos and slogan, what's out there, they're very similar because they have a similar theme that each season is going to be a different story.
Yeah.
Which is really cool, I mean, I think it's very, very cool. And I also think it's really amazing that they're choosing real stories that can be kind of relived and people can maybe better understand what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. I mean, for me, I thought I read Katrina and I go, whoa, like that's soon. Like maybe I don't want to say too soon. I don't know. Like O.J. Simpson, this feels like the perfect time to retell this story. But it's going to be fascinating.
There's no shame in TV or film. I'm just kidding.
No shame. No one cares. But I hope, which would be really cool, if Ryan Murphy reused his actors like he does in American Horror Story.
That would be very cool.
Yeah, that would be very interesting to see. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to tell us that you can tell us about the show, or just about what you want people to take specifically from Tanya?
Yeah, I mean, I think people understand that if you have a family member who is brutally murdered, that it's going to be a tough time. You don't want to make judgments, but judgments are made, and certain feelings towards people naturally happen, and it's a major grieving process. And sometimes it's shock, sometimes it's pain, sometimes it's tears, sometimes it's anger. They literally have the 7 stages of grieving, I believe, right? It's the 7 stages. So. So just know that that's in there for a lot of people. A lot of people go through that process through the series.
Yeah, and I'm sure it's safe to say that in all their different phases of grieving, people act irrationally, emotionally.
Yes.
And they can't really be blamed.
Yeah.
Especially under terrible circumstances, that's under public scrutiny.
Yeah.
That's a whole other layer. That, that perhaps is part of the reason why her family, like her parents, were stoic in a way.
Yep.
Everyone's watching.
Yeah.
And hopefully everybody will be watching.
Is watching.
This.
Will be watching.
I mean, they will be. I'm absolutely thrilled. Is there anything else that you have coming up, like that you're going to be working on, or that's going to be coming out to the world?
No, I've had some meetings, but there's nothing that I can say right now that is definitely, I have some other films that will be coming out this year.
Oh, cool.
So, what's cool is the Criminal Minds will be coming out, American Crime Story will be coming out. And then I have 2 independent features that I worked on, last year as well. That'll be coming out. One's called It Snows All the Time, which also had an amazing cast. Brett Cullen, Taryn Manning, and it's about Alzheimer's, which is a really beautiful story as well. My part wasn't as emotional as that. Don't worry, I know. You're like, what is happening? And then I actually did I would say it's more of like a somewhat horror, but more of like a thriller suspense film. When I play this like badass chick called Deadly Crush. Yeah,
that's cool.
So really excited for all of that, and now I'm just kind of like, are you hiring? You wanna talk about something? Because
Yeah, we will create a new show together. I think you need to do some comedy. I think you need.
I think you're right.
That would be fun though. It would be very fun. I'm sure you're hilarious.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
it would be an awesome though kind of new way to see you, because I'm sure like every role you do,
it's
you have
literally
to cry.
just me like
all of your tears are literally gone.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for speaking with me, and also congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jenna
I appreciate
just got
it.
engaged on Christmas Eve.
Yes, I did.
She has an absolutely beautiful ring, so I think this is going to be your year. I have a great feeling, so I'm thrilled, and I can't wait to keep in touch with you and follow you to see what happens.
Definitely,
and
me too.
To see you blow up
Thanks.
in the most positive way possible.
Right, in all the good ways.
So one last time, do you want to tell all of our fans where they can find you again if they want to see you?
Yeah. Hey, guys. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Ms. MS Jenna Willis. Just my full name.
Yes, but soon.
Yes.
It will be Mrs. And maybe you'll have to change.
Like, what am I going to do? I'll probably keep it the same,
Yeah, got to keep that name.
Changing that stuff is too much work.
Yeah, it is too much work. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And of course, you can find me, Sam Davidson, online at samdavidsonentertainment.com or on Twitter and Instagram at samd43. And please don't forget to follow AfterBuzz TV at AfterBuzz TV on all social media platforms.
Nice.
Happy New Year, guys. Welcome back.
Yeah.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.